What's up? So, we're going to go over some things that I wish I knew before starting fantasy books. And I'll try to throw in some recs in there for all of my beginner babies. Let's get into it. So, tip number one, start with lighter fantasies. Don't get too crazy. Don't dive deep into Babel or The Hobbit. You don't want to go too crazy too fast. I think you should start light, start interesting, start fun a little bit. So I would give Rex Cassandra Clare is a great author to start with. That's how I got started initially into the really deep, hardcore fantasy life that I'm in now. It would have been Cassandra Clare. Akatar is another great one. It is a bit deep in the fate. You're going to be just thrown into a whole nother world, but it's really easy to bond to that character. So then you stay really into the book. All right. Number two, don't be intimidated by the world building. It's all going to come together. It's like a puzzle. They usually start off giving you little pieces here and there, and they usually will give you enough backstory to make you understand the world, how it looks, how it feels, what it's supposed to be like, what you're supposed to be doing there. So don't worry, keep calm, keep reading, and let it just unfold. It's a tip that a lot of people don't really know, but you let the world unfold as the story unfolds. And that's the most exciting part about it. So I want you guys to really let that happen. Tip number three is look for character driven stories. All right. You want to just get connected emotionally to the character first, and that will help anchor you in the story, in the book. All right. It's almost like if you ever read Harry Potter, it's like you're obsessed with Harry. So all of the world building, all of the stories unfold, but you're concentrated so much on Harry's story. So as complicated as it could get, who are we looking at? Harry. All right. Another tip. Number four. Tip number four, audiobooks. Let me tell you, when I got into audiobooks, it helped tremendously, especially on those like big books. When you're ready to attack a larger, deeper, crazier world building book, I do suggest throwing in some audiobook time just to kind of you decompress a lot of the words you're reading. And usually the narrator will give you a feeling of going on. So then you'll like into it more, as well as it will help you pronounce the names, people, the cities, the places a lot better, and it will help you kind of to the story. So usually a lot of fantasy writers like to make up a lot of the names of the cities, even the names of the people. And that narrator book, I'm sorry, reading that audiobook will definitely help with that. All right. If you're a visual, always check the front and the back of the hardcover books. They usually have maps, and the maps will help you kind of what that world building will look like, what cities to look for, where they're going, and it'll give you an idea. So, for example, like in Onyx Storm or Fourth Wing, she puts the maps in there, and I would always go check to be like, oh, okay, Auratia's over here, and Basgiath is over there, and that kind of makes sense that they have to fly and go over these mountains, and it will help me put in perspective it's taking so long, like they talk about flight hours, etc., like that. So if you are a beginner, definitely take a look at that, as well as fan art. You know, Google some fan art. A lot of people are really good at, we have some great creative people in our world, and they are really good at kind of face or a mood to these characters and to these cities. So definitely check out that fan art. This one is my numero uno, but I put it a little bit further down the list. But let me tell you, do not be worried about not finishing. My DNF list is crazy. I'm not going to put myself through a torture trying to read a book that I'm just not connecting to, as well as maybe I'll come back later. Like, it's okay to put the book down if it's just like you, or it doesn't feel right, or it's just like not what you're interested in, because it might make deter you from like another book that you would love. So you kind of know, all right, I put the time in, I tried to push through it, but it's okay. Like, put it down. We don't need to, it's not a competition. It's what you like, it's what is about you. All right. So, tip number eight, Read what excites you and not what's trending. Okay, look for things that actually already pique your interest, like what type of TV shows, maybe what type of movies you gravitate towards. Be dark, cozy, political. You have no idea what's going on. So just before you even get too into the fantasy part, there's a lot of different books that touch on a lot of different ones and still considered fantasy. So just see what you like, even historical, like actually enjoy historical fantasy. And it's more or less, a little bit less than a trendier kind of topic. So you don't find it that much. But let me tell you, when you find your niche of reading, you're going to be so obsessed and so much more happier because then you can get easily recommended from there. So, for example, I'm like Legendborn. If I keep going, I'll find more that are related to Legendborn. And last but not least, the last tip I'm going to give you guys is use Google. Use it. If you're reading and you have no idea what lore means or what a griffin looks like or what a wyvern looks like because you're just getting into it, trust me, use Google. It's there. Just like I was saying earlier with the fan art, just use Google. You'll be good. Trust me. And it's just going to be like, oh, okay. And now you'll be able to picture this in your mind and be able to understand what these terms are trying to say or what they mean. And you're just going to like the book even more. So definitely use Google, use that fan art. Yeah. These are things that as beginner fantasy reader, you can get into.